Guys, I'm going to show you how I make my organic soap. This is for face and body, super moisturizing, super foamy. I love this soap, and it will save you a ton of money if you can learn to make it yourself. You're going to spend about $4 or $5 a bar for organic soap at the store. This will cost you about $2 to $2.25 a bar for organic. So that is why I began making it. What you're going to need is a digital scale. You're going to need some plastic bowls, some good essential oil, some organic coconut oil, some organic olive oil, and some organic shea butter. I bought some in bulk on Amazon. So I have a recipe, and I'll share that in the description. So I'm going to double this recipe. So the recipe calls for 8 ounces of shea butter. So I'm going to use 16 ounces of shea butter. Now use a crock pot, or I have a fryer I'm going to have on low heat to melt these fats. So we're going to turn this scale on. It's automatic tare to 0. It's set on ounces. Again, we need 16 ounces for this batch of soap. And you do want to be precise. So there's 16 ounces. Next, we are going to do 14 ounces of olive oil. And into the same pot with the shea butter. Right, now I need 10 ounces of my organic coconut oil. All right, and I'm going to put this in the same pot. Add some food grade castor oil, just about a teaspoon per batch. This you can eyeball, and it helps make it extra foamy. The next thing I'm going to do is measure out the lye. Guys, lye is very caustic. It is, you don't want to get it splashing in your eyes. You don't want to get it on your skin. It's a good idea to wear rubber gloves, safety goggles if you want to. I'm going to pour it very slow. So, and you want to be in a well-ventilated place. I have my fan right here going on my stove. And I like to mix my lye the day before I'm going to make my soap. Here's why. This lye heats up to almost 300 degrees when you mix it with water. And I have to melt the fat. So the way soap making works is the temperatures of the lye water and the oils have to be within like a 10-degree window to saponify. So it can't be too hot, too cold, too far apart, or it won't work. So I used to sit there and try to measure it, with a thermometer, and it was a lot harder for me. And I learned, I was like, I can just mix my lye, put it in a windowsill out of the reach of children, safe place where it can't get knocked, and then I can melt my fat. And as soon as the fat's melted, I can just turn off my crock pot or my fryer, whatever I'm melting the fat in. And then the lye has gone down to room temperature. So what I'll do is in the morning, I will mix the two together, and it will saponify almost instantly. I'll add my essential oils and pour it into the molds. Super easy. So I need 5.44 ounces of the lye. I've got my plastic bowl. You do not want to mix lye with metal. This is the soap making process. You need silicone or plastic, okay? It is not good. It will react with metal. So I'm going to pour my 5.44 ounces of this food grade lye. This is food grade lye. .44 ounces. Again, this is the double batch. I will put the recipe in the description for this batch of soap. All right, so we've got the lye. I'm going to set that aside. And in another bowl, we do the water. And we need 12.38 ounces of water. So I'm just going to get my thing here. And pour it in here. 12.38 is what I'm going for. We're right there at it. Now, you always make it snow on the water, okay? You do not pour the water into the lye. You pour the lye into the water. Now to this, I also like to add a teaspoon of sugar per batch. That also helps it be very foamy. My soap is so creamy and foamy and just luxurious. And the castor oil added and the sugar added is the way to get it. The reason it's good to mix it in the water with the lye is because the lye is going to heat the water up, the sugar is going to dissolve, and you won't have any grit in your soap. 2 teaspoons of organic cane sugar. And I'm just going to sprinkle it into that water. Give it a little stir. I don't have the lye in there yet. I'm just giving it a stir so there's no clumps. And I'm going to get my rubber spatula. And we're gonna mix this lye into the water. Now, as soon as this lye hits this water, it's going to immediately have a chemical process. It's gonna release fumes. It's gonna release heat. Do not breathe that in, okay? If you're worried about it, just wear a mask. And again, don't let it splash into your eyes. Wear some safety goggles if you would like. But I'm gonna stand back and I'm just gonna slowly pour this lye into this water, okay? And I'm just going to give it a very, very gentle stir just to absorb or dissolve that lye into this water. Make sure that all the lumps are gone. This stuff gets so hot. So I'm going to set this up in a way over in my laundry room, up in the windowsill where no kids can knock it, where I can't knock it, and it'll cool off overnight. Here's what the fats look like, and they're just gonna melt. And I'll mix them up real good, and as soon as they melt, I can stir it and just turn this off. And in the morning, I'm gonna mix the lye with the fat, and you're gonna see the chemical process of saponification. It's very cool how the lye reacts with the fats and turns to soap. So I will see you again in the morning. Last thing I forgot to tell you, set your crock pot on low and set your fryer on the lowest temperature. Whichever one, that you are gonna melt it in, just have it at the lowest setting. These are the molds I use. They have a nice print in the bottom. Each has its own design. And then I also have this silicone mold. Any silicone mold will do. You can even buy the loaf molds and then cut it with like fishing line or a thin wire. I wanted you to see this. See how this says food grade? That's the lye. You don't want to go to the hardware store and buy the stuff that you dump down your drain. That is not food grade, okay? They actually use food grade lye on those big soft pretzels to make them have that brown color. So you want to make sure it's food grade. It's going to be on your skin. All right, everyone, today is the day we're gonna mix up the soap. Our fat melted and cooled, our lye heated up and cooled, so everything's at room temperature. And now you're gonna wanna have a stick wand, your essential oil, and a plastic bowl, and a rubber spatula, which is right here. And I'm gonna pour the fat into this bowl, and then I'm gonna pour the lye water into it, and we're gonna mix it up with the blender until it starts to trace. I'll show you what that is. It becomes like a pudding consistency. Then we're gonna pour our essential oil in, and then we're gonna pour the soap into the molds, and that's it. All right, in with the fats. These are the 3 oils melted down and a little bit of castor oil. Now to get the lye water. You can see some of the stuff settled in the bottom of the bowl, but that is okay. I'm gonna dump this in, and you have to work fast because this will saponify very quickly. You're gonna see the chemical reaction take place. That is the oil turning into soap right there. And I'm gonna mix it until it gets a trace, and I'll show you what that is. So a trace is when you do like this and it leaves a line behind it. We're gonna stir it a little longer. All right, so now I'm gonna pour, it's 1 ounce of essential oil per batch. So this is 2 ounces. I'm gonna dump the whole bottle in. This is coconut. Oh, it's 2 ounces. Just making sure I didn't read it wrong. Now we're gonna mix that in. All right. Now it's time to pour it into the molds. I've got these silicone molds, and we're just gonna start to pour it in. And I'm going to keep filling it until all of my soap is gone. Last 2 here. And just give it a little shake or bounce just to get any air bubbles out. All right, I usually have a little bit more than will fit in that the other molds.
Hey,
so
when you get a sec,
I'm just gonna pour the rest of this.
when you get a sec, I need y'all to look at something.
As you can see, it's already starting to thicken up a little bit. By morning, this will be hard, and I'll be able to remove these out of the mold, and I'll make a video of that also. Okay, same thing. Give it a little bounce. Get any air bubbles out, and that's it. I'm gonna let it sit overnight and harden, and I'll video removing it from the silicone in the morning. So here's what it looks like, and this is still liquidy. It's starting to thicken up a little bit, so by the morning it'll be hard. I just wanted to show you. I just leave it sitting out so it can cure and get hard to where I can remove it out of these molds. It will actually cure white. It will not stay this color. You can tint it with things like beet powder, cinnamon, arrowroot, different things you can tint it with if you want color.